Chris.
I'm Miriam. And
This is Sandra.
And I'm Roy.
And okay, so Miriam and I were with Keto Chow, and Sandra and Roy
That was Sam running behind us.
are with Keto Conduct, right?
Okay.
That's right.
With a K. I actually put it up on the thing so people could see how to spell it,
Nice.
because I don't want people to not spell it right.
How do you guys keep from looking up to where your eyes look weird?
You look at the comments that come in, you read those,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at the camera.
And that's actually why the camera is where it is, so that it makes it look like you're looking at the camera when you're reading the comments.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
And we're actually focusing more on you and less on the comments, though we did put them up there. So, hi Amanda. Hi Carla. So,
Hi, friend.
anyway, for any of you who are new to our channel, we do this live stream every Tuesday night. This time we happen to have friends with us. So they're actually from here in Utah. Mm-hmm. When did we meet you guys?
Last year in January, I believe it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. I think
I can't remember even where we
Yeah.
met you.
Yeah.
Did you guys just come into the storefront, or what was it?
No. So I was looking for a keto meetup, and I went onto the Meetup app. And
Really?
and that's how I found you guys.
Nice.
We were new to Utah and needed to meet friends.
Okay, well,
So we got lucky there.
Who's better than keto friends, right?
that seems to have worked out really well.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
okay, so and we've hung out with you guys at. You guys came to KetoCon last year.
We
Yeah.
did.
Okay,
And this year they're speaking at KetoCon.
that's right.
We are.
And you guys were MCs at our Keto Salt Lake conference that we did.
Yeah, it was a
Which
great
was
time.
fantastic.
That was a great
Yeah,
time.
that was pretty cool.
And then we hung
Pretty
out
cool.
at FitCon and a few other things.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna get to your guys' story in just a bit. First off, Christy Davis says, "Oh my goodness, all my favorite people in one room."
Aw, hey
I
Christy.
So on the Keto Chow side, we do have our flavor of the week. It's 10% off this week. The taco soup flavor. So, it's actually dairy free until you add
Until
some
you
heavy
put some
cream
dairy
or
in it.
butter. Or,
Which is really good when it's hot, and then you put in cold chunks of avocado.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
and cheese.
and
some
cheese.
taco meat.
Yeah.
That's why we call it. Actually, it's spicy taco soup base
Right, right.
because it's all about the base. No trouble.
Pun intended.
Yeah, something like that.
All about the base.
Okay, you can't talk from off screen, buddy.
You
You either have to come in or stay out. Sam's eating waffles. Anyway, so we have Sandra and Roy here, and you guys have you guys mostly do your stuff with Instagram, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And they have
Okay.
a YouTube channel.
We do. We've been slightly more active on our YouTube channel,
Slightly.
Oh,
and we promise to be even more active over the next coming months.
Yeah.
okay. Good job. So, and Miriam has been doing. I'm actually gonna, Roy, instead of trying to look around everybody, I'm gonna look at you up there.
Okay, yeah.
Look at him at the camera.
Yeah. So Miriam has been doing workouts with Sandra.
Yes.
So
And it's been awesome. I'm seeing the difference already and feeling a lot better. And Roy's run me through a couple workouts too, so it's been really great. Way awesome.
Although I have to admit, you scare me sometimes.
Do I?
Yeah, because certain exercises you give me these looks, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh, like that.
It's that, it's that look
Well,
like
he said-
better not even.
I'm gonna do what you don't want to do, and I'm like, no burpees. But I did it anyway.
You did a great job too.
And I liked doing it with the weights better. For some reason, I thought that was easier, having the weights to put down to do the burpee than it was to go like, I don't know why.
No, it's cool like that.
Maybe
right?
because I got leverage. I'm like,
Okay.
I have to go down.
yeah, people were complaining that it wasn't as loud as normal, so I just boosted
Oh, is that better?
It
Tell
should
us
be.
if the volume
Yeah.
is better.
Well, it's because we aren't using the
The pop star mic.
Popstar mics.
No.
We're not using lavalier mics. We have a mic here. It's just out of frame.
It's just floating.
That way we don't have to. I didn't want to have to run a wire down Roy's shirt.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it would have been kind of cool. What's going on, Heather?
Oh, Jerry said way better. Okay,
Okay.
great. Thank you guys.
Heather says that she met you guys in Omaha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Omaha.
and yeah, we hung out in Omaha
We
too.
hung out in Omaha,
That was pretty cool.
all over the country. We did not go to Connecticut with you guys though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
missed that.
Yeah, next time.
I don't know that they're doing one in Connecticut again.
We'll just
So,
go there for fun.
Yeah, just because.
So get some lobster.
I guess so.
I'd be down
There are
for
other
it.
places. That
No, there's not.
okay, so why don't you guys tell us your story?
What
What's
got
your-
you
what's
into
your
keto
deal?
in the first place?
Okay. I always try to find a simpler way of talking about my story just because it's not your sort of, I didn't just start keto and then start losing all my weight right away and then, kept it off. I don't have one of those stories where I'm like, I did keto and then a year later, here I am today.
It was a
And
true journey.
it was a journey, yeah. Because when I first started keto, I didn't do the high fat, so it was a struggle. And I mainly counted calories, but I incorporated a ketogenic approach to the counting of calories. And I was only eating 600 to 800 calories a
Oh,
day,
wow.
you guys. So of course you're gonna lose weight eating 600 to 800 calories a day, but it's not going to be sustainable. And
It's super fun though.
it's pretty
Oh,
it's pretty
okay, no.
miserable, but I think what kind of keeps you doing it is that you're losing a lot. You're losing a lot of weight, but you're dying. You're suffering inside. And you're just, well, anyway, it leads to binging. You can only eat 600 to 800 calories for so long, and so I would kind of just I used it as a crash dieting basically, and I've been in programs that have also been low calorie, and had to take diet pills and to help with my appetite because my appetite is just raging when you're only eating 600 to 800 calories a day, and it just wasn't sustainable. But I've it's been a number of years where I've lost a lot of weight, and then I've gained a lot of weight, and then I've lost a lot of weight and regained the weight plus some. So that's sort of like what my initial journey was like. And then it was sometime later, I'd say about 2014 or so, somewhere around there, that I found out that, hey, eat high fat, eat more fat in your diet, and don't starve yourself, eat a healthy number of calories. And so to me, when I started incorporating more calories, of course I felt way better, and I was very much satiated with the higher fat. But the scale didn't move a whole lot at first, and that's because my metabolism was shot just from all the crash dieting, and so it takes time. I know there's a lot of people who have similar stories or who have gone through something very similar to me, and it takes some time to sort of rebuild your metabolism and get your body working with higher calories. So don't think that it's not working just because the scale isn't reflecting what it used to when you're eating 600 to 800 calories a day. Of course you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose a lot more than just fat too, though. A lot of things are going to start to shut down when you're doing it like that. So don't get discouraged. Just understand that you're having to sort of heal your metabolism. Eventually you will start to see results. Things will change. It's not going to be immediate. At least it wasn't for me at first, but it definitely works. You will see that you're eating a lot more calories, and then you will be able to start to lose weight. And so, but it's those having that quick fix. Just focusing on the scale and thinking about, nothing's happening. There's it's been a week and there's been no drop.
Yeah.
You got to get away from that mindset and just realize that you're healing your body
Right.
at first.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep chugging. For me, I blame all my weight gain, like any husband should, on his wife. So, no. So as Sandra was in her phase where she had really low calories and counting calories, we would still go out to eat and make dinner, and she wouldn't eat most of her food, and so I just ate the rest.
Oh yeah.
And then I ended up gaining a lot of weight. And when I decided to make my transformation, I did it bodybuilding style. So I was eating high carb, high protein, low fat. And as you start to, that's how you build the muscle. Then as you start to cut down, you start to drop down those carbs too. So low carbs and low fat, you had zero energy. I was walking around like a zombie, eating a bunch of meat and taking protein shakes in. And so during that time, I started getting a number of health issues. I got diagnosed with adult ADD. I had thyroid issues.
Wow.
And so eventually I said, you know what, I need to do something to fix this. And it was really a thyroid issue that led me to keto, led me to the research. And I said, hey, Sandra's been doing this for a little bit. Let me go ahead and jump on this train. And once we started both doing the same diet, that's when we really took off, and it made it much more sustainable for
You
both
had
of us.
that support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Sandra led, and you just kind of came along for the ride.
Just like life.
How long was she doing keto before you converted over?
We're probably about 4 years.
Oh God!
It took me a year. I was making 3 meals, and like a keto meal and a whole 30 meal and a carby meal, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Mhm. Yeah, it really is. So once I switched over and started eating that way, and then we started being more creative with the foods that we ate and things like that. And then after a while of really getting into it, we're like, hey, let's start an Instagram. So that's how that all started once we both got on the same page. And I love to cook, she loves to cook, and so it almost became a little bit of a competition, like who can make the best mug cake or who can do this, right? So a lot of the recipes came out of competition between the two of us.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Anthony says it's really amazing how well keto works, but it's really all or nothing.
It really is, and I explain that to people too. Is because when you're a keto couple, a lot of people say it's usually the husbands that aren't doing it, right? And so they'll say-
It's true. It's true.
And so, how can I get my husband on keto? And I'm like, well, he's got to really commit, because if he is doing keto at home and then he's cheating on you with carbs when he goes to work, it's really going to be worse for him because he's going to be high fat and high carbs, and it's just not going to work out.
Yeah. I thought the best way to get a guy to do keto is to just nag him.
Yeah, that's
I think
perfect.
That's probably the right
That's
way.
with everything, not just keto, though. You know?
that always works, right?
Yeah. It seems to work well with us.
Yeah. Well, as the saying goes, if you give a man a fire, you warm him for a day. If you light a man on fire, warm him for the rest of his life.
It's short life.
Yeah. All right. Now, the Keto Conduct Instagram, it's not even the first one you ever did, right?
No, we both had separate Instagrams before, and until we formed like Voltron.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
By your powers combined, you're Captain Planet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Roy did like a lot of, like he showcased some yoga. He likes yoga. And like, yeah.
Slow karate?
That's more like Tai Chi.
And then I did, my page was more on sort of like more on body positivity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and fitness, but mainly body positivity.
So it's not just me, but Anthony also likes Voltron. Just saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Are we talking the original Voltron or the new one? I mean, the new one isn't bad.
Yeah, the
Our
original
kids
original's
like the
awesome though.
New one.
And Robotech, I just found that on Hulu. I
Oh,
think. Yeah.
right.
Rebel
And quite frankly, the new DuckTales is fantastic.
Is
Oh, I
that
didn't
on
see that.
Disney Plus?
It is on Disney Plus.
I haven't watched it,
I'll
but I
have to
will.
check.
Really
it out.
quite good.
Sam will tell us all about it.
Okay, how many kids do you guys have?
3.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, we
How
have.
many sets of twins?
No twins.
None?
We're not keeping up with the Bears until we're.
Well, okay. Fine.
No. So we have 3. Our oldest is 20, turns 21 this year.
Oh,
You just entered the service, right?
No, he's at home. He's working
Oh, okay.
restaurant work. He's He's doing
Winston.
poke bowls. Is his
Oh
thing.
yeah,
wow.
Poke Bowl.
But
He wants to finish school.
he wants to finish school first, and then he's gonna contemplate about joining. He was this close. I almost had him, just like Dad. But I'll let him choose, just because, that's if you do what you choose to do, you don't have to work a day in your life, right? So
I guess so.
that's
yeah,
what
because it's
people
what
say.
you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whether
Or
it's hard work or not.
Or you just work every minute of every day.
that's true.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, Roy, you are you still active duty?
I am. I just hit 20 years in the Army this month. This month I hit 20 years. So
Now, you did that specifically so that you could get the Keto Chow military discount, right?
absolutely.
That was the-
So
20 years just for that.
yeah, I get as much chocolate toffee as I need.
Oh boy. Okay, and how have you been deployed at all when you've been doing keto?
I have not been deployed while doing keto,
It's
but
TDY.
I have been in the field for a couple of weeks while doing keto, or just traveling for general business travel, right? And
Okay.
so the business travel is obviously a little easier because as soon as I get to a place, I'll go and pick up shakes, pick up any of the food that I need, and I'll essentially eat out of a hotel. And then when you eat out, of course, my
Just go
big
to
thing-
steakhouses, dude.
Go to steakhouses, exactly. That's my big thing for people. And order what you want. I tell people that all the time. Like, well, what if they have this on? If you're paying for that food, order what you want, and they will make it for you. But when we were going out to the field, you have to be a little bit more creative because you don't have stuff to make shakes with, and you're not the cleanest when you're out there. So you eat a lot of jerky, so you have to be careful though, and make sure you find sugar-free jerky, and you have you have bars and things like that. So it is tough to keep it clean keto, but you can still make it through the field with slightly dirty keto.
Okay.
Just take some prep work.
Absolutely.
And your carb requirements are a lot looser, right?
Yes, I mean, because you are working a lot, so you're burning them off very quickly. But another thing too is, I have dabbled with intermittent fasting in the field,
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And-
works out a lot.
and
better.
it doesn't. And you have to gauge that based off of how much activity you're doing, right? If you're doing a lot of activity, then you're going to need to have some a little bit more nutrients throughout the day. But
Yeah.
you can skip a meal, you'll be okay.
Do they do like
Yeah.
bacon and eggs at the chow hall at all?
They do. So when they're in the field, they have the cooks will come out and they will make. I'm not even
powdered
sure though.
eggs.
I'm not even
Powdered
sure if the
butter,
eggs are low carb because they are out of a bag.
Okay.
But I eat a lot of bacon though.
There you go. How much bacon can you eat? Watch me.
Just watch. Not nearly as much as you because every time we go to eat somewhere, you blow me out of the water with how much food we eat.
That's because it's the only meal I'm eating that day, dude. A lot of people are saying thank you for your service, and they want to know:
Thank you.
do you have a social media page? So
Keto
Conduct. Do you,
with a
now,
K.
do you have a Facebook page as well?
We do. It's also Keto Conduct as
Nice.
well as the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go. It's not like Keto Conduct 1 or Keto Conduct.
Nope.
No?
No,
Just
just
Keto
straight up Keto
Conduct.
Conduct.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
quick question, Roy, while we're talking about how you're a little more dirty keto. When you're at home, if you're strict and you're really good keto at home, then you're going to be a better, more efficient at fat burning anyway. And so then when you go a little bit more dirty keto, it's probably going to be easier, more sustainable than if you're home and doing, cheating more often or whatever.
Right,
Wouldn't you
right.
say?
And so it just we all just got done with fasting too over the last few days, right? So if you're really strict keto, it makes it easier going into those fasts. If you're really strict keto, it's easier to intermittent fast. The only thing is when you switch from strict and very clean keto into and I hate saying dirty keto, but a looser form of keto, then you have to be careful what you eat because you might deal with a few gastrointestinal
Oh,
issues.
yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, depending on
or
what-
headaches from
That would be
sugar.
really fun in the field.
Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
But like you said, a lot of times you don't have much choice, and you just do the best you can.
Absolutely.
So that's
Okay. Now, Sandra, back to you. Jennifer wants to know, What are some body positivity tips you would give?
Oh yeah, so that's really important to me because one thing I also discuss a lot is just how much I really hated my body. So my highest weight, I was over 300 pounds, and I just really, really hated my body. I hated, honestly, being me. I just thinking about I was in a great depression. I was eating very unhealthy. I was not taking care of myself. I was putting myself down every day. Every time I went to the bathroom and saw myself, every time I picked up a piece of food, I just had nothing nice to say about myself ever during that time. And it really affected me, and it didn't help me change. It didn't, all the nagging, all the self hatred, all the talk that I did to myself, that did not compel me to make a change for the better. It just, it compelled me to almost to agree with my thoughts and say, yeah, this is just how it is. You're never going to change. You just have to accept the way that you are. This is it for you. So get used to it. And I used to do that to myself quite a bit. And the change didn't happen until I said to myself, I said, I'm just like, I think basically, yeah, I just couldn't believe the things that I'd say to myself, and I'm just like, wow, who would you ever allow anyone to talk to yourself that
to
way?
me like that.
Would you ever talk
Or
to
talk
someone
to
else
anyone,
like that?
yeah.
Someone talk to my daughter that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what is this like the kind of encouragement that I would ever give my kids? No.
So how do you change your mindset?
So this is the part. So this is the thing that I want everyone to do. Okay, so
This is the trick.
and it's not going to work at first. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. Positive self-talk. As soon as you find yourself putting yourself down, as soon as you find those negative thoughts creep into your mind, you tell yourself, stop it right now. And then you have to redirect. Immediately you have to say something encouraging to yourself, and you have to say something nice about yourself, whether you believe it or not. And trust me, that I was saying things that I'm just like, you're full of it.
Yeah, my shoes look really good today.
I'm just like, but it did help. It did help me stop the sort of the self-talk where I was just, hating myself. I did stop it, right? And even though I didn't quite believe the positive things I said about myself at the time, if you keep doing it every day with positive self-affirmations and you're stopping yourself from the negative self-talk, it does get better. And then you tell yourself, start treating yourself with some respect. Start treating yourself with some respect and show yourself some kindness and some love. And once you start doing that, everything will change.
Can I say one thing that I noticed that you did?
What?
You, while you were in your transition, you got dressed and you looked nice every day.
Yes, I told myself
Okay.
so.
Oh,
That
you-
was important too.
Yeah.
And so I've got some pictures of myself, you guys, that I'll put up on Instagram, but almost every picture, I just look a mess.
Right.
I did not care about my appearance whatsoever. There were actually days where I wouldn't even leave my house. And, sometimes I'd think to myself and I'd say, geez, when's the last time you even stepped foot outside? Because I was just punishing myself. And so,
Yeah,
but yes,
once you started
I
getting dressed and looking
Yeah.
nice on no matter what,
yeah.
you always
Even when I
told you
didn't
don't
feel
have to
like
wait
it.
until the end of your journey to buy nice clothes
Exactly.
or to
Start
put,
it now.
or
So
to
don't
put
just
something
say,
on.
just be like, well, I'm not going to go shopping because, I need to lose 10, 15 pounds first. And then,
And then
like
you'll
I
go
understand
shopping.
the
Yeah.
economical reasons, but I understand it. Okay, but psychologically, okay, you want to look your best. You want to treat yourself nicely, do some things that are nice for yourself, Even if it's like you don't want to take that extra time take that extra time anyway. It's not like you have to put a gown on and, a full, makeup and hair, but just
I'm
a
not doing
little
that.
bit. Yeah,
Yes,
just,
you are.
just put
Thursday.
a little bit more, just put a little bit more thought and care into yourself. So basically that's it. And so, but when you do that, when you're wearing something that's comfortable, that you look nice in, you're gonna feel good about yourself. When you have your hair clean and brushed, you're gonna feel good about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Painting your nails, you're gonna feel good about that. Just little things, to make yourself feel good, and sometimes that makes all the difference.
Did you go thrift shopping though?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And go through a what?
So
I was thrifty.
it's funny you say
Thrift
that.
shopping.
My kids,
Oh, yeah.
my kids tease me. Why do you always put so much makeup on? Why do you always have to have so much makeup on? You look fine the way you are. I'm like, I want to look in the mirror and feel good about myself, and that's why I put makeup on, because I like it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Roy and I do that too.
We do that
I
too.
know,
Yeah,
right?
We don't tell anybody about it though.
yeah. Well, it's what's it called? BB cream is the tinted sunscreen that it's not really makeup. It's just tinted sunscreen.
Oh, is that what? Oh, okay. All right. What do you call that eyeliner you're wearing there, Roy?
That I actually had crayon on my hand and accidentally wiped
Oh.
my eye.
You're crying. Okay. So, any other suggestions about
Body positivity.
Sam? You gotta stop, buddy.
He's playing a bell or something.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
one thing also is take pictures of yourself. Take some pictures of yourself. And so, especially that's one thing, I don't have very many photos of myself. And it's just because I was, really ashamed. But when I look back, and I have those progress pictures, and then especially I love looking at the photos of myself, even though I was still, I think I was probably like 240 pounds or so at that time, but I was losing weight. You know what I mean? I was looking nice. I was feeling good about myself, and so you could tell. You can see when someone's feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah.
And I would take and I'd have photos taken, and I'm just like, look how proud I look in that photo. Like, look at my confidence starting to peek through. Look at that change. But definitely just, you have to build yourself up. And I know some people will say, well, you don't want to be vain. You got to be humble, which is true. But that doesn't mean, that you don't ever have to say anything nice about yourself or be proud of yourself or feel confident. And,
and just treating yourself like you would treat someone else.
Right.
Kind.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
kind to yourself.
yeah, we give each other compliments. It's okay to give yourself a compliment.
My elbows look really nice today.
Did
Yeah.
they? Hey, watch out! Mike doesn't want this to turn into a beauty care.
It's true. Or else he's gonna go get some dinner. Christy Davis says she still struggles with just hanging out in her PJs all day.
Yeah.
Well, get some nice PJs, Christy.
Ooh.
Hey, like,
Satin
yeah.
ones with
With a K embroidered.
Yeah. See,
So fancy.
you'd show up at Walmart in those, and people would be like, "Wow, what's the occasion?"
Satin slippers.
Heather says she has hardly any other pictures before keto,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that Miriam is.
Oh,
She-
I'm
she kinda
super
harps-
sensitive about that. Actually, when my mom passed away, we were trying to find pictures for her funeral, and I had pictures of her when I was young, and I had pictures of her with a couple of my kids. But then there's this huge gap, and I'm like, "You're a part of our lives for 30 years there too. Where are you?"
Right.
She was in my wedding photos and other stuff, but you don't want to put wedding photos up at a funeral. So it was depressing to not have that little piece of her that I couldn't have anymore. And I totally yelled at Chris's mom. I'm like, "My mom just died. You let me take a picture of you right now."
He's like, "Okay."
Yeah. Stand here.
Like, the thing is, you may not feel good about yourself, but that doesn't mean other people don't love you. And pretend you feel good about yourself. Tell yourself you're great, and remember, other people love you, and you need to be seen by them too. So,
That's fantastic.
get your picture taken.
Okay, now your other thing is talking about fitness, right?
Yes, yes. So it's funny because we are we consider ourselves not just a keto page, but definitely a fitness page, and look at them kind of as one and the same. And so we will post workout videos and stories and things like that also on.
That's why I go there, just to see
That's right.
pictures of Roy working out.
Yeah. And so, and that's kind of a thing that we do. A lot of people that are in the keto are also kind of biohackers too. And so with some of the things is to see, okay, how does my body operate while I'm in ketosis? How does it operate when I'm kind of on the cusp? And then as I test my ketones versus Sandra, how does it look at different points of the day? So it's ketosis and fitness really is one of the same. Of course, you can do one without the other, but when you put them both together, it just really supercharges everything and helps you get to your goals much quicker. So we help out a lot of people with fitness plans, with eating plans, quick jump starts and things like that. So definitely fitness is, I was a fitness person first before I was a keto person. And just like I said, when you put them both together, it really just supercharges the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Sandra does it too.
Do you do anything with fasting?
Yeah. Well, I do extended fast, so I don't
Okay.
intermittent fast. And let's talk about intermittent fasting. Okay. So if you guys are new to social media, if you're new to joining, sort of finding your keto tribe on social media, you're going to see a lot of information about intermittent fasting, which I think can be great and it can be very beneficial. For me personally, I don't. Eating window for me doesn't work. And one thing I want people to be aware of, it's okay if you don't want to intermittent fast. You don't have to. Being keto doesn't mean that you have to incorporate intermittent fasting.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure to do it on social media. There's a lot of, come join me in this, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of, a lot of people it's like, my eating window is only 4 hours,
I've got a 5-minute window.
And I'm stuffing those wings.
Crack open the can and just
So I'm like, well, intermittent fasting. Yeah, I'm going to try intermittent fasting. And what I found for myself is that I tend to binge during my window. Because psychologically I'm thinking, I gotta get it in here because my window's gonna close. And it's purely psychological. Purely. Because if I just accidentally eat one meal a day or happen to eat within a window, I'm not thinking about when the window closes. I'm not hungry and I'm just sort of eating intuitively. But for the window, it really does something to me where
Heather said that the same thing.
Yeah, it just something happens to me where I'll just, everything just kind of goes out the window and I'm just like, right. I need to it's about to close. What else can I eat right now before I've got 5 minutes
And then you
left?
feel sick and then you overate.
Yeah, and then you're like, geez. I really didn't have to do that because I'm just fine, the next day. But that's what happens to me. So I like doing extended fasting. Now that works for me. So I like to do a 3-day fast. And I do that, I only do it a few times a year.
Okay.
And that works for me because it's not like there's a window of any time. It's like, okay, well, I'm not eating for a few days because I want autophagy, and then when it's over, and I can then eat how I'm comfortable.
Yeah, and I will dabble in intermittent fasting on occasion, but I only do it during the weekdays. So,
really?
And I call it my work week hustle, right? Just because once you get to work and you're going, and I find that I'm extra productive when I'm not stopping to eat and the snack and things like that. So I'll go throughout the entire workday and not eat, and then just and then I'll eat on the way home.
Okay.
and eat while at home. And then someone asks when's the latest I'll eat. I'll try not to eat past 9 o'clock, right? So 9 p.m. is the end, and I don't have any issues. Some people feel like they can't eat past 7. I don't believe that if you eat right before bed, it's not going to make you get fat because you eat right before bed. It's still whatever your window is. If that's what you're playing with, and that's how it goes. A lot of people would believe that if you ate too late, then you don't have time to perform different activities to burn off some of the calories, and that's unnecessary. You figure out when it's best for you and your body. Like some people have like indigestion issues if they eat too late.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so if you have issues like that, then obviously stop with enough time for your food to digest, or if it affects your sleeping at all. For me, it's 9 o'clock. For some people, it might be 6 or 7.
What time do you eat in the morning?
On a regular day, if I'm not intermittent fasting, I typically will eat at 6 a.m.
Okay.
And then, so I don't really worry about. A lot of people don't like frequent meals because they're worried about insulin spikes.
Okay.
Right. That's not something that I'm focused on right now. So I will eat every 4 hours. But
Okay.
that's because I am a bodybuilder and it's kind of ingrained in me to eat often. But I'll because I don't actually have a large appetite. So if I don't spread my meals out, I won't get enough calories in.
Oh wow.
So that's what I'm fighting, which is I'm sure people would love to have that issue.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds really tough there, Roy.
I'm just like, why aren't you hungry?
Yeah, she gets
yet?
mad at me. She's like, "It's time to eat, right? Right?"
Like, how
Now,
can you not be hungry?
Are you eating at 6 o'clock because you're hungry, or are you eating at 6 o'clock because it's time to eat?
I'm eating at 6 o'clock because it's time, right?
Oh,
Just
okay.
because I'm spreading it out. And if you're trying to lose weight, that is definitely not the way to go, right? So
Okay.
don't eat based off time. If you're trying to lose weight, eat when you're hungry and eat until you're satisfied, right? You don't have to eat the entire plate or the entire plan as far as if you say, okay, I got to eat a pound of meat right now. That's not required. Eat when you're hungry, eat till you're satisfied. For me, I have a different goal, and that's why I consume food at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually don't eat until 10 or 12.
Me too.
So that's when I usually eat.
But you guys are like different people.
Wow.
We are.
Like, yeah.
So Sam stayed home from school sick today. Can you hear that coughing? I'm sorry. He's listening
Are
to
you
a book
eating?
while he eats waffles.
He's
He's just gonna
still-
sit and eat all the
What
waffles.
the heck? Sheesh.
He made
That's a
himself
lot of
a lot of
waffles.
He made
Okay.
a tower.
Okay, now, one thing you said, Roy, was pretty. I laughed when you said it. I have a friend who has a keto company,
Okay.
and
So do I.
Yeah, well, a significant number of his employees are doing ketogenic diets,
Uh-huh.
and then you've got the ones who aren't. And he said that they were once doing this, like, I can't remember if they were like packaging stuff or doing like a planning session. They were like nose to the grindstone working until like really late at night. And all of the people not doing keto were like looking around like,
When
are
are
we
we gonna
ever
eat?"
going to stop for food?
It's so true. You don't even realize it.
Yeah, you
know?
don't know
You
that.
don't realize it at all.
I did a kids series. So for the 3-day fast, I had to put something on Instagram, right? So I did a
Glass
kids
of water.
series.
Empty
Big giant
plate.
chunk of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did like, you still got to cook for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're not fasting with you, and you're gonna remind yourself, oh, like the kids got to eat.
I
so
know. That's the hardest
Yeah.
thing for me because I make them something and then I want to eat it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to find something that I don't like that I can make for them.
Well, we went to Low Carb Houston, and we're walking around the Space Center Houston, and somebody was melting, like
Oh,
melting,
Sam.
and like
Like, why are you melting? I need to eat those.
so we ended up going to the cafeteria there at the place, and they had
Here,
like
have a hamburger.
the trashiest. I mean, it was like $35 for a pizza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And their brisket sucked. And I'm like, how can you mess up brisket in Texas?
Come on.
But yeah, and then all of a sudden everybody was fine. And then a couple day later we went to the zoo, and once again the non-keto kids were melting.
Yeah.
And we stopped and got some food, and there were chickens around where we were eating. So everybody got
There were
happy.
wild
The chickens were
They were
great.
just watching the chickens and then they
What
were
about
like-
being thirsty? Were the non-keto kids like always wanting something to drink though?
I didn't really notice a difference, but everybody did get happier once we paid $3 a soda
Yeah.
for the diet soda things. But
Soda. Yeah, we've got lots
whatever.
of waters. So one thing I thought of while we were chatting earlier was I did a couple of workouts while we were fasting. So last week we did a 72-hour
Oh yeah.
fast, and then
Mhm.
this week we did a 36-hour fast.
Mhm.
And both those days that you ran me through a workout, Roy and
Okay.
Sandra was there on Monday,
Mhm.
I had a better workout on both those fasting days.
Really?
Yeah, it was really
Maybe the
nice.
workout was just easier. Maybe I just didn't.
Maybe you're just a
No, I
lightweight,
think it
right?
was good. I
Yeah.
think they were good workouts both times. But I'm
Okay.
just saying, I feel like I performed better. I felt like it was better for me. And I was worried, like, do you remember the first day? I'm like, I'm fasting, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
pass out.
Mhm.
You know, I'm like,
Right.
I was careful when I was getting up fast. So 'cause
Yes.
I tend to get dizzy anyway. And so I try to listen to my body and don't overdo it. But I felt really good both those times. So that was cool, I thought.
Yeah, I always feel good when I've been fasting. I think it's just how sort of lean and like, there's no inflammation at all.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
that just feels good.
Well, I noticed. So last week I worked out on Monday. I did my strong lifts that Roy keeps making fun of me for.
No.
But I did strong lifts on Monday and I did strong lifts on Wednesday. Both times fasted, and it was weird when I ate on Thursday. A couple hours later, around noon, all of a sudden my chest and my shoulders and my arms just started aching,
Really?
and I had there was no aching at all, no muscle soreness on Monday or Wednesday after working out. But then it was so bad Thursday night that my forearms, it felt like I'd actually worked out, but it didn't come until after I ate.
Right.
That's so
Weird.
funny. Yeah.
Anyway,
And a lot of it is probably just nutrients just rushing into the muscle. As far as for the muscle portion of it, so same thing like when you're a carby and you're working out, and you get these incredible muscle and vein pumps from the glycogen just filling into your muscles, and it really is an awesome feeling to really feel that. And then so I'm guessing it's probably from everything being completely depleted, and although it's not glycogen, from carbs, you're still getting nutrients that are rushing to those muscles that are starving essentially for those nutrients. And I don't want to say starving because that's not what you're doing when you're fasting, but
Yeah.
the muscles in a sense are wanting those nutrients, and it's just rushing into
Yeah.
yeah. And do you guys use collagen at all?
Yeah.
Do you supplement?
it. We
I can tell from Roy's hair. I mean, it looks
Yeah, it's
amazing.
beautiful. Honestly, my nails grow so fast though; it's
Yeah,
incredible.
my nails
Oh
are
yeah.
really nice.
Beautiful, I
So do you
swear.
use collagen every day?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. So I do a keto coffee every morning. If I'm trying to cut my calories or I'll cut the fat a little bit, and I won't put all of the fat parts in the coffee, but I will still put the collagen in the coffee in the morning.
Is this a vegetarian collagen?
No, it's not.
That's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
It doesn't
I know.
exist.
I was like, but when you find some, let me know. I'll try
Yeah.
it.
Well, I heard an interview with the Further Foods lady who runs that company, and she's like, people ask us all the time if there's a vegan collagen. She's like, that doesn't exist.
That's not a real thing, no.
Only animals make collagen, so sorry.
It's funny though because out of all the different types of collagen, we typically use unflavored
Yeah.
collagen.
Okay.
And people always say that smells so gross or it tastes like.
anything.
But I don't
It
know.
tastes like anything.
I don't
anything.
notice it at all.
Yeah.
I smelled it. I'm looking for. I can't smell a thing. I don't know. I think it's just like how some people can't eat cilantro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Maybe that's like.
I'm
a
allergic
thing.
to it, but I eat it anyway because I love it.
Yeah, it tastes so good.
It makes my throat close up. It's crazy, but yeah, it is funny how different people. And there's things that I'll taste that no one else can taste. Like I've taken ingredients out of Keto Chow because no one else can taste it except me,
Oh, really?
and I'm like, nope, I'm not having something I hate.
Like what? Like, give me an example.
Well, there was the savory chicken soup. The place that we had mixing it up, they added extra riboflavin, which is a B vitamin, which is fine. But
I could taste the riboflavin.
you could taste the
Yeah,
riboflavin.
but it took me a while.
What does it taste like? I don't know.
It tasted like metal.
Huh.
It was
Yeah.
really
They
weird.
put it in for color,
And it made
a good color, but
like, yeah.
I'm like, I don't care what color it is.
And so we had them take that out. The protein that we're using, there's some protein that has, what's it called? Dang it, lecithin, sunflower lecithin in it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it mix better.
Right.
But that changes the flavor just a little bit. No one can taste that except for me.
So.
And I actually
minute.
took it out, but then it didn't mix as well, and people were complaining the Keto Chow was clumping. So I actually added that one back in. It was a good trade-off since I was the only one who didn't.
But it makes things taste like creamy, doesn't it? Like a nice creamy texture to it.
What, the lecithin?
Uh-huh.
No,
It
the
just
lecithin
makes
just
it mix better.
yeah. It actually it slows down the speed at which the protein absorbs water,
Okay.
and so you don't get that. You know when you would add the hot cocoa to the water and you'd get the clumps.
Uh-huh.
That's because it's super saturating just the outside and then forming a skin.
Oh.
The same thing happens. So you add a little bit of, it's actually oil to coat the protein powder, and it slows down the rate at which it absorbs the water and mixes better.
Okay.
Instantized.
Your face, Miriam, was awesome just now.
Watching the kid.
Yeah.
I was actually. I'm such a mom. I'm all, oh, those are productive coughs. Good job.
It's
you know, that's what I'm
really
thinking.
breaking up in there.
Like it's breaking up. That's what my mind was thinking. Oh,
Good
that's
job.
a good cough. Good job.
You run
buddy.
over, start patting his back. You're like,
You got this.
Meanwhile, I'm watching the audio levels. Dang it, you're clipping.
oh my goodness.
I fell down, Dad. Is the floor okay? What?
We should probably have him go out. Hey, Sam, go in another room.
Are you still
honey.
eating?
He's just listening to a book sitting there.
Well,
If you're
it's
not
because
eating
we're
with us,
here and he
I know.
enjoys
I
our
know.
time.
Well, he likes to listen to Roy.
Who does?
Hello, ladies.
Candyman is on the prowl.
Whoa.
No, freaking what? No, stop.
Stacy just bought the sample bundle a half an hour ago and didn't realize we were only 3.5 hours away.
Come see
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Speaking of only 3.5, well, it's actually 6 hours away. Next, what is it? In 2 weeks, we are going to be going to Low Carb Denver. Miriam and I.
Yes.
You guys aren't going to Low Carb Denver.
We're
because-
not going. No.
Now, there's different conferences out there.
Mm-hmm.
So ones like Denver, that's more of a doctor. That's more presentations, things like Low Carb Houston.
Metabolic
Health Summit.
is a doctor conference, too.
Those are not influencer type.
Right.
Whereas,
I mean, definitely they can go and you can learn a lot.
oh yeah.
So they're still good to go to, but they're kind of geared towards doctors.
Whereas you guys are going to KetoCon
Correct.
because that one is like all about the influencers, right?
But we're also going to Keto Salt Lake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Keto Salt Lake. When is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, it's in April. It's gonna be big time.
That's right. Did you guys get a rock from the salt mine last year? I have one if you want one.
We
Oh, yeah,
did.
we have-
We have a
yeah.
couple of large
Okay.
boulders. Plus, we got a pack of the small, the salt
Fasting
licks.
rocks.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you had that because those are fun to like smack kids with.
So I actually I need to make a salt trophy because we had a competition
Okay.
on our Instagram page, and I'm not super duper handy with woodworking and things like that, but I'm gonna make a salt trophy because I do owe someone or
Strong sisters.
I owe
Yeah.
the Strong Sisters a trophy
Yeah.
because they won a competition, and I'm making it. I don't think I didn't tell them what it was made out of. Now they know. It
Oh
is,
yeah, now you just let it.
I just let it out of the bag. It's going to be made out of a salt
huge
boulder
salt boulder.
from
Awesome.
the Redmond salt mine. So awesome.
If you want a good suggestion, go to the thrift shop.
Okay.
Around here it's DI mostly. Get an old like bowling trophy. Spray paint it gold. Take whatever's on the top off and stick
Just
the
stick
rock
the
on.
rock on top.
Ta-da!
Spear fingers.
Stacy's in Idaho. Nice. Speaking of which, our friends,
Holly and
Steve are doing a road trip up through Idaho Falls on March 17th, Butte or Bozeman on March 17th as well, Miles City on March 18th, Bismarck on March 18th, and they're going to be hanging out near Mount Rushmore on March 20th, doing like a Keto Chow mini meetup road trip. So if you're in any of those cities, on the Keto Chow
Let us
Facebook
know.
support group.
So you can meet up with Holly and Steve and they'll bring you some samples.
Anthony says trophy and electrolytes all in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. They're sitting there,
Just
it's like they
like
light
it.
it up, turn it into a salt lamp.
You could just drill a little hole in there, just stick a.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
they have kits for those, so
Yeah.
they might do it.
Dang, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty
That'd be
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. See, all these ideas just coming out from the live.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Making trophies and lamps.
So aside from going to Keto Con, what other big plans do you guys have that you got going on?
Well, we'll be at FitCon.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll be
that's
at
another
FitCon.
local one here in Utah.
Right. So on top of the conferences and things like that, we're actually doing more stuff. We're working on our plans to help more people get fit, and once again the combination of the keto and fitness together. So we're going to start working with more individuals and couples to help them get fit on keto. So we are formulating that plan and that strategy, how we want to get that to you guys the best way we can. And so that'll be coming out soon. Maybe we'll make an announcement about it or something during Keto Salt Lake, but it'll definitely be on and poppin', as I like to say, by KetoCon.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, that'll be awesome.
Well, you guys are speaking at KetoCon, right?
We
yeah,
are.
So
we are.
we'll be speaking.
You're speaking
the
twice,
first-
aren't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So we'll be we'll have our talk that's going to be about 40 minutes, I believe, and
Yeah,
then
on
we'll also be
Friday.
on a panel
Yeah.
on a is it
Friday, breakout room 2.
yeah breakout room 2
nice.
before lunch
Before
on Friday.
lunch. Yeah.
I want to say I'm going to feel bad for who's ever in the other rooms, but I want our room to be fully packed. So make sure you're there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeannie says, I'm in Orlando, never get to have keto fun. I think the low carb cruise in May of this year is departing from Orlando.
Oh wow.
And there was Low Carb USA Boca Raton that
Yeah,
was,
that was this
like,
year.
Where?
it was down in Boca Raton.
Oh yeah. That's a cool place. Oh.
It's in Florida. Florida.
And our friends from Keto Collabs are out of Orlando, I believe.
Well, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, they did a
Yeah, they
meetup.
did a meetup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely look that up because I think they're gonna do meetups
Mm-hmm.
at least annually at
That'd be
least.
great.
We went to Disney World last year after KetoCon, and we created a mini meetup
Yeah.
Nice.
in Orlando. We just and there was a bunch of people that we actually met at
nice.
KetoCon, and then we went to Disney World afterwards, and we're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna be there this day," and we met at a barbecue place.
Yeah.
Nice. So Christy Davis says, Utah has all the good keto stuff. Tennessee has nothing. You know what Tennessee has? Tennessee has you.
Yes.
And you're the best.
Doesn't Tennessee also have Dr. Barry?
Yeah.
He's all right, but he's not nearly as cool as Christy Davis.
Christy Davis.
That's true.
I've
Yeah.
been watching her videos. I think she's adorable.
Yeah, she is.
I was. Were you watching one this morning?
Last night.
Last
I
night.
was in the bathtub watching Christy Davis's video.
But is it how tall is Christy?
She's 5'11".
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you guys are both tall. I knew she was tall. so
She's
you guys are
taller
both
than me. She wins.
Yeah.
I could be that tall with heels on.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I don't even think a platform could even make me come even a
Yeah.
little bit
The
close.
day that Chris and I met, I was wearing 4.5-inch heels.
It's true.
So we're the same size.
Now, to the point of, there's no good stuff in insert location
Place.
here.
Yeah.
We would not have met Sandra and Roy if we hadn't started our own keto meetup.
Yeah.
That's right. And then we would be sad because
Yeah.
they're the best.
If there isn't one nearby, make one.
Yeah.
Seriously. You can reach out to different keto companies. A lot of them will send you stuff. You might even be able to convince one to help you with some of the fees.
And we'll send
or,
you free stuff because we love
Yeah.
to support meetups.
So yeah, if you don't have one, make one.
And that's one thing that we were also talking about doing is kind of like how Holly and Steve are doing the meetups as they are on their way to North Dakota.
Yeah.
As we travel to different places, we would love to meet up with people. So we'll start letting everyone know where we're traveling to for the most part. So we might have impromptu meetups wherever
Yeah.
we go. Just like, yo, I'm here.
Christy said Sandra and I are going to look hilarious next to each other. Like, I'm just so glad somebody's taller than me. Every time I meet someone, they're like, wow, you're so tall. I'm like, yeah, I know.
It's funny.
Well, you know what? Well, it's close to Tennessee. I guess it's relatively close. To
Kentucky?
Tennessee. No,
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina is going to have a ketogenic treatments for lipidemia conference
Lymphedema. There's 3 different L's, but I think we want to go.
yeah, it's in November.
Yeah.
So
But where is that to Tennessee? Like, where's the little map?
it's
How far away is it?
I don't know. It's like 2 or
It's
3
east
hours.
of Tennessee.
It is east of Tennessee.
It's in that area. Here's Utah, and here's everywhere else.
Oh, Christy's going to start a monthly meetup in March.
Wee!
So-
Reach out to us and we'll send you some stuff.
Will it be in Nashville or where is it going to be?
You just want to go to Nashville, don't you?
I'll go.
Nashville's
I wanna
awesome.
come.
I just want to go to Texas again.
Yeah.
I bet they have barbecue in Nashville.
I don't know. Kansas City disappointed me.
It still tasted good. You just had to get it without the sauce.
Did you guys go to like Bryant's or what? Did you guys go to the famous places? And,
We went to this hole in the wall place that
We were fine.
it was authentic
fine.
Kansas City barbecue, like as authentic as you can
I
get.
thought it was delicious. Everything
And
is better than
we got the
Utah
pulled pork
barbecue.
and it came out orange. I'm like,
it's orange.
yeah, because it was full
It was covered
of
in
barbecue sauce.
Oh.
And we had-
everything was covered
We
in
had 2 of our
sauce.
daughters that were strict keto with us.
Yeah.
So all 4 of us were like, oh, I guess we're having some candy tonight.
Well, and it's funny because our 2 daughters that are super strict, they will not cave for anything.
No,
Like,
they are
I'm
very
like,
committed.
I'm gonna deal with it. I don't want to waste money or whatever if I have to. Usually, I won't eat anything, but man, they're like, no, I'd rather go hungry, mom. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, they're very committed, and I guess it's all you have to find your own reason for doing keto. So again, Roy did it because Sandra nagged him to death.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's not the way to do it. But you have to find your why, right?
Yeah. So I was actually. Do you ever just wake up and or you're trying to go to bed and you have all these ideas, so you have to write the notes down
Yes.
so you
Yeah.
right.
Offload your brain. So
Right.
you go to sleep.
And so the other night I did that. I pulled my phone, and you shouldn't really have your phone before you go to bed because the blue light, yada, optimization. But anyways, I didn't have a piece of paper, so I put out my phone and I was thinking about my why. But you also have to go, what I say, beyond your why.
Yeah.
So
You said why? I heard wife. Okay.
no, your
I'm
why.
like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah, your wife. No, sometimes you have to go beyond your wife.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
never go beyond your wife.
No, so when you have your why, people say, "Oh, my children, I want to be there for my children," but then that'll get you started, and obviously you want to remind yourself when things get rough. But you really have to push, and you have your whys, and you have your goals. And I'm a big proponent of stacking things together to push yourself, kind of like the keto and the fitness. You have your why and you have your goals, and you put them together and you move on, right? The thing is, because I want to be there for my wife, right? But then I have my parents both passed away fairly young, right? And so as I look at that, I'm thinking, you know what? I need to make sure that I figure out what I need to do to be there for my family, and also to educate other people how to extend their life, and not just extend it, but extend it for the better, right? So I want to be
Their
just
health
the way
span,
I am.
not just their lifespan. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
health span,
yeah.
right? So eventually, everyone passes, and when I kick the bucket, I want people to be like, "Man, Roy's gone. I didn't even know he was sick." So
Live long, die fast.
exactly, right? So pushing, finding your why, and then pushing beyond that to really optimize yourself, optimize your life, optimize your everything about you. So that's the key.
Are you older than your dad was?
Actually, no. My dad actually just passed away this weekend.
Oh,
So, yeah. But my mom passed away when I was 12 years old. She was
okay.
only 32. So
Oh, wow.
I am much older than she was at that time. So, and you're looking, and she actually had lupus, and so we have a friend that we met on Instagram that also has lupus and is helping treat her ailment with the ketogenic diet. So it's and then my sister is she actually lives in Omaha, and she has epilepsy, and so with her seizures, I'm trying to talk to her about the ketogenic diet and how, hey, this diet was essentially made for you, right?
Yeah,
It's made for
yeah.
you, Felicia, and so you need to get on board. And she's really starting to listen and starting to get on track. But of course, it's hard to listen to your little brother, right? So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, family.
yeah.
Did she change your diapers ever?
That's like the rule. No, she actually never changed my diapers.
okay.
You know.
And I did know that about your dad, and I forgot. I'm sorry. And
It's okay. It's one of those things where you wish you could have grabbed. I wish I would have known about the diet much earlier, and if I would have known about that much earlier, I would have been able to teach him more about it, and maybe he wouldn't have been full on keto like us, but if he would have been cyclical keto or however that would have been,
Yeah.
that really would have helped him out a lot. Because when you see your family members, your loved ones, your friends have issues, have metabolic issues, and you have the key, makes it a very difficult time when you've discovered how you can help them, and you just can't give it to them, or they just won't accept it.
yeah. Wow.
But don't let that bring us down. Let's talk about the party.
Yeah. Party. Go beyond your why.
Go beyond your
Use
why.
body
Beyond your why.
positivity.
Party like a rock star.
Yeah. Well, and I think back on the body positivity thing, like the reason why you want to be healthy is because you want to live longer, because you want to be there for your family, because whatever your why is. But you're a person, you're here on earth, and you have value and you have worth. And
It's like that positivity thing. All
yeah,
over
you need to be positive for yourself, and I think that's probably part of the reason why people don't jump on keto, because they don't feel good about themselves at all. And then they feel like, well, I'm not worth it. I'm just gonna eat this whatever I want. It tastes good. It makes
Yeah.
me feel good. Like doing this is hard.
Yep.
And I don't like myself enough to do that. I think
Exactly.
you have to kind of get past that point and realize you're worth it. You are worth it, and you can do this for you. And as you do this, you'll feel better in all the different ways. And
Yeah.
so,
And you have to take that step, because it's, I mean, just think about it. How many people have you seen actually bully themselves into better health?
Oh yeah.
You can't, that's not,
yeah.
you don't do it that way. And how
You
are
don't
you
want
going
to
to?
want to be one of those mean girls. Is butter a carb?
But yeah, you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to respect yourself, and that's how you're gonna make the change. Not when you're constantly just sort of abusing yourself, and just saying abusive things to yourself. I mean, how are you really going to change for the better by doing that?
Yeah.
Really, it's not just about loving yourself at the end. It's loving yourself along the way, along the journey.
Yep, along the way. And so, there's a whole spiel about, well, you can't be body positive because, you want to change. You can't be body positive because you've lost weight, or because, you're not loving yourself. You want to change. So there's no way you can love yourself right now. And I'm just, having these discussions sometimes, it blows my mind because you need to love yourself now, and that's why you're changing for the better.
I love you right now.
But you need to. You need to
room,
love
guys.
yourself, and you need to like yourself, and you need to be proud of yourself right now. Right now.
And so Devin had said, any recommendations for getting back into the gym after an injury?
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it was weird. Sandra and I actually had injuries kind of at the same time.
Were you guys jousting?
We weren't jousting, but we were doing an obstacle course race.
Yeah, we were doing it. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
And so,
That was a good idea.
yeah, Sandra actually tore her meniscus.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And I'm not even sure what I did, but I pulled something in my elbow.
Are you sure you didn't make it up so you could be together?
Well, any way I can, And then I also had an avulsion fracture of my ankle. Right. So how do we get back in the gym? Well, the first thing is don't re-injure yourself. That's the number one thing. So if you a lot of people won't work out because of they have a lower body injury or upper body injury, you can still continue to work the other body parts, right? So if you have something wrong with your knee, you can still go and do curls and shoulder press and bench press and all that jazz. So do what you can, and the key is too, while you're injured, that's when you have to be extra strict on your diet.
Yeah.
Right, because you're not
not
moving
gonna
as
be
much.
burning
You're
anything.
right. You're not moving as much. So a lot of people say, okay, if I can't, that part's not all or nothing, right? Just because you can't go to the gym doesn't mean your diet shouldn't be on point, and vice versa, right? So please, please, please don't fall off the wagon while you're hurting, because that's the time when you really need to be on the wagon.
Well, and really, the better you eat, the better you're gonna heal
Yeah.
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
And it's just, and it kind of goes back to, it's like, I remember when, I had that meniscus tear, and I'm like, oh no, like all my effort, like, oh goodness, like, I'm not gonna be able to go to the gym, what's gonna happen, and then, you get kind of sad, and then when you're sad, especially if you, like, have emotional eating tendencies.
Yeah. Well, and you
Now
can't
listen,
get up
folks,
and
like-
move. You're like,
Yeah.
Now, one
as
thing,
long as I can't get to the fridge,
like,
make it
when
to
it-
this injury.
when it comes to emotional eating, I mean, that's still there. Like, in the back of your mind, it's, that doesn't go away. Now, keto makes things much more manageable. So that's one thing I like to talk about as well, is just sort of eating disorders, right? And one thing about the keto diet, the keto lifestyle, is that, you're not as hungry, right? You're not as hungry. You're satiated for longer periods of time. But that doesn't mean that the thought doesn't, come into play occasionally. But then you remind yourself, well, I'm not hungry. I'm not even hungry. So basically, I'm just wanting to eat because, how am I feeling right now? Why am I, maybe it's just a taste that I miss, or something that I want. But also, yeah, when you're feeling kind of down, be mindful of, those evil voices that are going to come in.
Or like it's funny because people have food that it's tied to places, right? So whenever I go here, I have to go to this bakery, or I have to go to this taco place, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like nostalgia.
Yeah,
You
nostalgic.
have
I have to eat,
disassociate yourself.
I get
with
turkey
those
legs when I
things.
go to wherever.
but that's not fair because that's still keto. babe.
Exactly, it is.
It's like, oh man, there was a taco place that was right down the street from my house where I grew up, and they actually saved me because they were under new ownership and it's not nearly as good. So now when I go
okay.
visit my parents,
Like,
there's no
yeah,
need
I
to
don't
go
need
to
to
that
go there.
place. Yeah.
Well,
That's
Miriam
funny.
talks about how when we started keto, we had to just find
we
new
had
restaurants.
New restaurants. In
All
fact,
new stuff.
I actually went to Olive Garden with Audrey tonight.
And you
It was
did
the
what?
first time I went to
Oh.
Olive Garden in probably 5 years.
Wow.
And she's like, "What's Olive Garden? A pasta place. You'll probably love it, Like, and they have good breadsticks, and they have this yummy pizza that I don't eat. So I got a salad, and I was happy to find out they had some zoodles.
now.
They'll
Yeah.
also put their stuff on broccoli, so you
Yeah.
can get the chicken
I got
Alfredo
the
and
zoodles. It
broccoli.
wasn't very good, but Audrey got mozzarella sticks and bread and lasagna.
Ah.
Oh, you know
She
what?
didn't get
Zoodles
zuppa
are-
toscana.
No, because that's potatoes in it.
And it has
Potatoes
spicy.
are my downfall.
Oh,
so
I
Spicy
heard.
sausage.
stay
Do you
away
ever
from
make the
those.
homemade zuppa toscana?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'll make you some. It's good.
It's so good.
I will take you up on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've kept you guys for over an hour now, so I think we're going to let you go. Do you have any parting words of wisdom? Stuff you want to talk about?
Say kind things to yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. My thing is, you gotta stack it. You gotta
Stack it.
stack keto with movement, and you're gonna supercharge your life. I'm telling you, that's the way to go.
Okay.
Woo-hoo!
And so everybody should just like jump in and just start doing really heavy weightlifting.
Absolutely not. There's a great plan that a friend of mine is doing. It's called Strong List 5x5.
Oh, you're gonna bring that up again.
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and try that. It really is a great workout to gradually get you up to the strength where you want to be. You go up about 5 pounds each time you lift, and it really is a great workout. If you have any questions about it, ask my friend Chris about it, because he's actually on the program right now.
That's right.
And be looking out. Follow Keto Conduct on
That's right.
Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and be looking out for their program to come out.
That's
So
right.
pretty soon.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Oh, geez. Now we're ending with Sandra complains that all the girls follow her Instagram just to look at Roy.
Which is absolutely not true. If there's a picture of me, girls, it's okay to say you look great.
Show them some love over there.
I get sad.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and hey, we'll catch you